All right, welcome to the pod with me and my good friend here, Ashton. It's a podcast about the police, unfortunately. So here is our headline roundup. We start every week. Here are some of the police-related headlines of just this week in America.
Yeah, we're
starting
about to
with
unload the clip on y'all. All right, sorry.
starting with cops in Princeton, Illinois, fatally shoot a 3-year-old during a hostage situation. R.I.P. Damian Camacho.
Cops in Mundelein, Illinois, fatally shoot a woman. Identity of woman has not yet been released.
Cop in Salt Lake City, Utah, is found guilty of manslaughter for fatally shooting a man who was driving away. R.I.P. Henry Chavez Jr.
Cop in New Jersey is found guilty after going on a high-speed chase while off duty that killed a motorcyclist. R.I.P. Omar Kababi.
Cop in L.A. is convicted of manslaughter after a fatal shooting. R.I.P. Anthony Cuozzo.
Cop in Allegheny County, Florida, is on video shooting a man inside of a jail cell.
Cop in Wichita Falls, Texas, are on camera assaulting a woman during an arrest.
Cops in Jacksonville, Florida, are on camera assaulting a woman during an arrest.
Police chief in San Leandro, California, is charged with a hit and run.
Cop in Pocosin, Virginia, is charged with holding two teenagers at gunpoint after a car crash.
Cop in Florence, Alabama, is arrested for sending obscene images to a minor.
Cop in Auburn, Washington, is arrested for immoral communications with a minor.
Cop in Tennessee pleads guilty to sending explicit photos to a 13-year-old girl.
Cop in Pueblo, Colorado, pleads guilty to child sexual exploitation.
Cop in D.C. is charged after being caught in a child sting operation on Chris Hansen.
Cop in Hillsborough County, Florida, is charged with domestic violence.
Cop in Wichita, Kansas, is arrested for domestic violence.
Cop in Brayard County, Florida, is arrested for child abuse.
Cop in Toledo, Ohio, pleads guilty to drinking and driving with a child in the car.
Cop in Indianapolis, falsely accuses a teenager of pointing a gun at her. Goddamn. Did you just strictly find the most pedophilic, violent women ones?
No, there is always some sort of horrific synchronicity every week where
it was just,
there'll be stories that align and I'll put them together because there's just there's some sort of weird logic to how I order these headlines. But yeah, and then I obviously I don't like any of this, but the 3 stories in a row of basically cops sending nudes to children, but using the language that varies state to state, obscene images, immoral communications, explicit photos. It's all the same. But I'm using their own, state by state. They have their
what kind of church ass law is it?
Immoral communication.
What that mean?
Yeah, it's a euphemism. I respect euphemisms more and more doing this show. Sometimes I don't even like saying this shit out loud. I like immoral communication. You get the drift. I don't have to say something that makes me cringe.
But also that hides a mess.
It doesn't hide. What could you imagine an immoral communication that a cop is doing over the phone
child sexual
with a child?
Exploitation. That's what I imagine. Just say
there
that.
You go.
Just
I didn't have to. You imagined it.
Or what's immoral? I be cussing my little sister out.
You think that's what the cop is being charged with for saying some swear words?
Shut your dumbass.
No,
I probably shouldn't.
The older I get, the more not Puritan I get, but kind of prudish I get. I'm kind of
That's what happens. That's what they say.
Yeah, I feel that way. I'll see PDA. I'm like, stop.
You're like, OnlyFans models, get out of here.
I don't want to tell women what to do, but I don't have any problem with OnlyFans models. I don't like saying child every fucking week. So shout out Washington State that allows me to just say immoral communications with a minor, and my soul leaves a little less damaged than
okay.
what this podcast has done to me.
I gave a kid bad vibes. That's what I've been charged with.
Yeah, if it said extremely bad vibe behavior with a child, I would get it. I would get what they mean. But that was our roundup. Started with a really tragic one in Illinois. Yeah, there was a hostage situation, a father with his 3 kids and a knife. The wife called, and the cops bust through the door, just opened fire, and unfortunately killed a 3-year-old kid. So, especially
And they're probably
tragic
going
story
to
there.
charge the dad for the murder of the kid.
Probably, yeah. We've done this podcast long enough to where we definitely have seen that pattern more than one time.
And that's not to say the dad's not guilty. I'm assuming,
of course, yeah.
I'm only assuming from the headline the dad must have held his kids at hostage with a knife.
Yeah,
and then I'm not saying this guy's innocent of a fucking crime.
of course.
Yeah.
But anyways. that's the roundup, folks.
Dork pod.
Yeah, but
dork podding.
Well, we got some funnier stories this week, along with the regular onslaught of horror. But Ashton, why don't you plug our Patreon? Real
I get to
quick.
say the fun thing. Yay! Subscribe to our Patreon, $5 a month, please. We'll give us $5 a month, and we'll tell you about penile implants and speeding tickets, because that's what we're talking about today.
Yeah, I gave a little mysterious, weird intro, but that will be what we will be talking about on the Patreon. So sign up for that. It's more lighter hearted vibes than what this has been so far. On the Patreon, we kind of get to be a little bit more relaxed. But before we go on to the main stories of today's episode, we got updates on previous stories we've talked about. One, the Phoenix cop who off duty heard that there was going to be a high school ICE protest, a dangerous, immoral, dark alleys of society, children protest, and so he goes again off duty with the plan to arrest these kids, but to get the kids to do something to him so he could round them up and arrest them. Told the other cops that we could hear it on body camera, and that cop's getting fired. That's the update. So
he went to provoke a bunch of kids. See, literally, which we always talk about, like how these police and their politics usually align with right wing politics, and but he went to go provoke them kids and. Got fucking did not
when Punisher mode on some real sick valedictorian of this high school doesn't know that she's got it coming. Yeah. So that's that. He's fired. Probably will just get hired somewhere else very soon. But for now, he's fired. And a couple weeks ago, me and if you remember, Bobby Condon was on the pod. We talked about New Orleans PD continually getting caught stealing overtime. And there's a fifth cop who also got caught, along with Miami. Miami cops are now getting caught doing the same thing. So if you if you're someone like how Bobby was and are absolutely furious at time theft, then you're having a rough go at it these last couple weeks.
Listen,
so
steal time, I don't care. Just not on the taxpayer's dollar, dog.
Exactly.
If you Walgreens,
don't steal my time.
Yeah, don't steal. Yeah. Bro, that money's for bombs.
Yeah. Very true. Unfortunately,
sad.
That is sad. But let's start with something fun. So, headline: Al-Kippa police officer overdoses on fentanyl while destroying drugs in evidence room. And no, I wasn't making a joke that it's fun that a cop died. I wouldn't do that.
He
The
died?
cop survived. No,
Oh,
that's why we can laugh. Thank you, cop, for not dying.
And then
that would be a tragedy.
I'm doing the audience a favor. I didn't read the articles this week just because I wanted to be like a relatable perspective for the audience. What?
Wow.
I want to like be the vessel for the audience.
Yes.
And my reaction, I was like, wow. So if you
thank you for making this effort for our podcast.
You're so welcome. Man.
I appreciate that.
I thought I should fulfill the audience.
I also have been barely keeping it together this week. One of us has to be making some effort.
No. This is an effort. This was pre-planned. I knew I was going to do this.
Wow.
I looked at the article. I said, you know what? This is how I'm prepping by not prepping.
Wow. Now we get Ashton's organic.
Yeah.
As if he's done no preparation for this week whatsoever. As if.
Wow. I did not. You know what? When I purposely bike ride at Prospect Park, trying to forget so I can come back fresh and like relaxed and like so. Wow. He overdosed in an evidence locker. You say?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and do this. Now, again, audience, this is Ashton's first time hearing these words.
Sense of
Isn't that exciting?
The sense of discovery is palpable. Tell the story, John.
I will. Reading here from CBS Pittsburgh, and now Aliquippa police officer, I don't know, overdosed while handling narcotics from the department's evidence room, the Beaver County District Attorney said. The officer collapsed in a patrol car, and it took Narcan and CPR to save him. There are questions about whether that officer followed proper protocol in handling those drugs. But right now, the Beaver County District Attorney says it appears no crime was committed and no charges have been filed. Now, this is pure propaganda of just like taking the cops' word for it. Like, this is a complete myth that has been propagated by cops that fentanyl is so dangerous. Just being in the same room with it and just catching its vibe is enough for a police officer, our toughest and bravest amongst us, to overdose and nearly die.
No.
Whereas, like, some, like, Bushwick 19-year-old white kid can apparently smoke and inject this stuff, and they're good.
Yeah, no.
They're good.
And to prove it, I brought a little fentanyl.
Thank you, Ashton.
To show the audience.
See, I knew you were still making an effort on our show. I knew.
The fentanyl is for everybody.
Thank you. Yeah, and, so... You know, we can guess the reasons why police like to propagate this myth. I mean,
sympathy. They have bad PR.
The whole, the marijuana, like, gateway drug. We remember that from Dare, like how weed was supposed to be this dangerous drug that can kill you. It helps cops feel needed. It helps their budgets get bloated. But in this case, it seems that there's a much narrower and simpler reason to say this, which is that this guy it's not that he was doing improper protocol, audio listeners, I'm doing air quotes right now, in the evidence room. Seems like he was just in the evidence room doing all the evidence.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know. I was like, was he just like reorganizing the evidence? What was he doing?
Yeah.
I'm gonna, guys. It's my monthly cleaning the evidence room out.
He's like, wait a minute, this isn't cocaine. It is cocaine.
That's what I'm saying. Like, them, was he one of them drug dealers? Was like he was one of them cops where it's like he takes an extra little dip. Yeah. That's the coke. Was he caught like a raccoon in like a pantry? Like, oh shit.
It could have been like, how like you go to a dive bar in Brooklyn, and then like in the bathroom it's like, we have testing strips. Like, please be safe. Like, it might have been that. Maybe we need testing strips in these evidence locker rooms so these poor cops can stop overdosing on fentanyl, and they just wanted a little bump to get through their day.
Damn. Oh my God. That makes actual logic sense.
I think that's what happened.
I think
he saw a white substance, didn't use a testing strip.
Steve, is that black tar heroin? Have you been doing black tar heroin in the evidence room again? No. Yeah. Then why do you have a black tar heroin mustache on your face? Oh, I'm sorry. Is that?
The officer told KDKA he doesn't even remember collapsing. He says, after helping destroy narcotics inside I bet he was destroying those narcotics. Inside the evidence room at the Aliquippa Police Department, he changed his clothes, got into a patrol car with his partner, and about 20 minutes later, everything went black. The officer involved in the department's evidence the officer involved is the department's evidence custodian, responsible for handling and destroying old narcotics stored inside the evidence room.
I think, honestly, more cops should be crackheads.
Yeah.
I think they would never sprinkle crack on innocent people. I'm not wasting that crack.
Yeah. They would definitely show up faster when you call them.
With crack. Somebody said that.
Beaver County District Attorney Nate Bible says the officer was wearing gloves, but investigators believe he somehow came into contact with fentanyl. somehow, I love this. The cops are scratching their heads. They're like, this case just keeps eluding me
But
somehow.
then a magical crack genie came and
There has to be another clue somewhere on how this possibly could have happened to our evidence custodian, who, by the way, raised his hand very quickly to volunteer for this job. Very generous with his time, our evidence custodian. Yeah.
I'll do it. I'll clean it at 2, 4.
Those drugs will be gone very quickly. I
Inside,
guarantee
they
you
have
that.
The note in the bathroom where it's like the bathroom has been cleaned. He's like on his name's 2, 4, 6, 8.
Yeah. After speculation, hilarious. KDKA's Shelley Bortz asked the officer if he intentionally took the drugs, and he said no. Quote, ultimately, when we found out who the officer was, there wasn't any of us that thought the guy has a drug problem. Bible says, again, the fucking DA.
Yeah, the classic. Yeah, he was just a normal guy.
I think the situation shows that such a very, very small amount can be near fatal. Yeah, that's what the situation shows. The situation shows how dangerous being in the same room with a drug could possibly be. Guys, be careful when you're using your gloves and handling your illegal narcotics, because this could happen to you.
Here, why do they keep the drugs with the cops? Why don't they just like secure it in like a real secure location, not like
Because the cops are the ultimate security.
Oh, okay, sure.
That's the secure location.
That's the smartest thing for.
Open up the evidence locker. This dude's fucking on the floor having a seizure. There's EDM music blasting. There's strobe lights going. That's just an evidence locker vibe.
I love that. Like a crackhead pretending to be a cop to get closer to fucking crack.
Yeah, dude.
That's like a guy pretending to be gay to get closer to like a.
That classic thing in movies.
Yeah.
Remember the 90s? That was like, no, every fantasy
like,
was
I'm
that,
just
if
gonna
you pretend to be
be
gay, if you live a complete false identity, you could one day maybe see these girls' boobs that you've deceived.
Oh, no, he overdosed on titties.
This is like that.
He was found in the fucking woman's
Yeah.
her fucking bras.
Yeah, he went through 2 weeks of police academy training just to get closer to these drugs. The officer says he was riding the passenger seat of the patrol car when he suddenly lost consciousness. His partner immediately suspected an overdose, administering Narcan twice before paramedics arrived.
It was not in the evidence locker?
No, it was later.
Okay.
He left the evidence locker, went to the patrol car.
Oh,
The officer says he woke up hours later in the hospital with no memory of what happened. It wasn't until he told doctors he had been destroying narcotics earlier in that day that everything started to make sense. Yeah.
Guilty.
Yeah, the doctor was like, yeah, no, we know you were totally destroying and totally housing narcotics. We're asking which drugs were you doing? Quote, this is just a very, very unfortunate accident. And thank God that this officer didn't lose his life, Bible said. Now, in the wake of this nearly deadly incident, the department says it's taken a hard look at its safety procedures. Bible says one immediate change will require officers to wear masks anytime they handle narcotics, as investigators work to determine exactly how this exposure happened.
No way that this is the first time they ever thought about wearing masks in a evidence locker where the main thing is powder just floating around. That's crazy. It's 2026. It's the first time they're like, what did we admit? Sorry, this sounds dumb as hell.
But at the same time, it's equally ridiculous that they think that a room full of powders, like the powders will just find their way into your nose, and you'll find yourself waking up in a hospital overdosing because you weren't wearing the proper gloves in the evidence room.
No,
now this whole police department is adding new safety procedures. They're gonna be sending an alert to police around the country, like, watch out, be careful. These evidence lockers are dangerous if you really think about it.
You know how like in those cartoons they'll be like the Sandman is blown like sand.
Exactly.
Whoa, and they just fall asleep.
Yeah.
It's like the fentanyl man is blown.
Yeah. I know. Yeah.
You wake up in a hospital.
Yeah. So what happened? There was a draft. There was a draft in the evidence
turned the
room.
AC on.
You gotta be careful.
Also, I've been through COVID. I know how fucking cops wear masks. Them niggas wear their masks. On their shit. That shit is not gonna stop. No, say, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he was clearly caught meth-handed. That's the New York
Nice.
Post title of this.
Yeah. Let's see. However, as questions and speculation continue online, the Aliquippa police chief posted a statement to Facebook saying in part, quote, "What I can tell the community is this. This department holds its officers to a professional standard, and any matter that calls that standard into question is reviewed thoroughly and handled through the proper administrative and legal channels." So, yeah, shout out to this cop. Glad he's okay, and I thoroughly condemn fentanyl as a substance that is out here killing cops. Cop killer, fentanyl.
Yeah.
Fentanyl should be on trial.
No, I feel like I've been around a lot of fentanyl just in my subway station, and I've been on subway carts where I'm quite certain fentanyl is just being, I don't know, and I feel fine.
Yeah.
So I'm only a little bit cracked out. So this
Yeah.
cop, get your shit together. Get your fucking shit together.
All right, next we're going to, I feel like we're here all the time, Phoenix, Arizona.
I mean, I've never been to Phoenix. I've never been to Arizona. I don't want to talk shit. It just, Arizona seems so dry.
Yeah.
I just feel like you would do drugs and do some fucked up shit there. It feels like a Florida vibe, Arizona, like a dry Florida.
Yeah.
But
ABC 15, we're always getting stories from them about the Phoenix police.
good for them. That's good journalism. But that's like Joffrey said. We're going to Phoenix, Arizona. A shot in the dark. Does this Valley surgeon deserve to go to prison?
Ashton's asking this question. He literally doesn't know the answer.
Like, oh,
he has
shit.
not read this article before. We're seeing a real-time read.
A Valley surgeon. No, actually, I did read this article. I'm going to skip the second and third paragraph for a second because I feel like it's just, I'm going to start at it began around 11. But
Okay.
on June 30th, 2022, it all began with a documented gang member with 30 plus convictions prowling around the Johnsons' front door and ended with Chris Johnson being shot from behind by Phoenix police and charged with a handful of felonies that could put him in prison for 2 decades. It all began around 11 p.m. when a strange man showed up to the Johnsons' front door unexpectedly. The doctor's wife, Jill, then a probation officer, was up late finishing reports in the kitchen when she noticed the man, who can be seen peering into windows and checking under pots and plants by the door. Okay, he's looking for a key. I just thought this nigga was just like a dumb thief. Should I take a pot? I thought this nigga's moving like...
Yeah. Seeming to be a guy who's out of his mind, who has been for a while in trouble with the law, sort of institutional. I mean, you know how it goes.
Okay.
Seems like.
I read Pots and Plants and I immediately thought of me playing Zelda where I'm just like smashing nigga shit. Is it Jim? Nothing. Okay. But he's looking for a key. When Chris went outside to make sure the man wasn't looking for another way into his home, he saw a set of 2 vehicles with bright white floodlights blocking the entrance and exit of his neighborhood. Chris said he did not know those lights were from the Phoenix police vehicles for officers already in the area because other residents called 911 about the same man. The doctor then walked about 50 yards from the car and fired off a warning shot into the air, something he admits was a mistake and the most regrettable decision of his life. It's taken 4 years to go to trial, which is currently scheduled for late May 2026. So this doctor went out, saw a guy looking into his home, stepped outside, became Rambo, I guess, and fucking shot a gun in the sky.
Yeah. So he saw the man went from his front door, couldn't get in through the front door, went around towards where his 2 daughters' bedroom is.
Yeah.
He came outside, and then what he saw behind the man was these cars that were blocking the entrance and exit to the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. So he assumed like that was like the cars like associated with this man.
Okay.
Did not realize that these were cop cars. One, because the cops didn't have their lights on. Mm-hmm. They didn't announce themselves.
Also,
they didn't do none of that.
Stopping the guy who was breaking into somebody's home.
Exactly. So he's just in defense of his house mode. Fires up a warning shot.
Yeah. Which is admirable. But you got to point that gun at that nigga. Hey, nigga, with the warning shot. I guess it's admirable. I don't know. That's because the indictment was thrown out twice because police and prosecutors failed each time to properly inform the grand jury about the law surrounding self-defense claims. Eventually, a judge found there was probable cause at a preliminary hearing, but the same judge later said that he does not believe Chris should end up in prison and added that he hoped another resolution could be reached instead of a trial. But prosecutors with Maricopa County Rachel Mitchell's approval won't offer a plea deal for anything less than 5 to 10 years in prison. Okay, hold on. Did I skip a part where?
So I'll explain it. Yeah. So this article is accompanies like a bunch of videos they made. So yeah, it's a little hard to understand just from the article. But to summarize, yes, he shoots a warning shot to scare the guy off, which is a questionable decision. He admits that himself, shooting around into the air. But it was in self-defense. Yeah. It was on his own property. Yeah. Someone was breaking and entering. The cops then, in response to just hearing a shot being fired, just start, as cops do, unloading in that direction.
Yeah, shout out to ABC 15, but this shit was written terribly. Like, they put at the very end.
No, it doesn't matter. It goes with these videos. So, yeah, I don't want to shit on them.
Sorry, but they don't mention the cops shooting him until the last paragraph.
What was I saying? Fuck. They shoot. They send a hail of bullets in this direction immediately, as they would shoot him in the back of the leg. And next thing you know, he's in the hospital. So this could have ended there as like, okay, he shouldn't have shot that round. Cops should have not fired a hail of bullets without one announcing their presence, saying that they were cops, putting on their lights. Like, all these things, one could have been avoided if cops had done the reasonable thing, which is to have their lights on, to announce their presence. Then, this guy wouldn't have felt the need to take matters into his own hands. But they didn't do that. So then he fired a warning shot. And then the next thing, cops probably should have just randomly fired a hail of bullets, but they did. A gunshot did go off. So you could at least empathize with the human reaction of just reacting and shooting bullets, beyond the fact it's super unprofessional. It could have just ended there as like a misunderstanding, but it didn't end there. The prosecutor is absolutely not dropping this and charging this man with aggravated assault, trying to put him in prison for 20 years.
For defending the spirit of private, as a Western man, the spirit of private property rights should come in and just grab that prosecutor and like, all right, I'm not gonna say
they're in Arizona. Like, they are in the place where this mentality lives, this castle doctrine, this stand your ground. There was a man trying to break in. And the other irony is that
he got away.
They let him go. They said they listed him as the victim.
The guy
and sent him on his way.
Wow. Well, he technically hadn't broke into his house, I guess. He was on his property.
I was attempted B&E. I mean, he was trying to break into to the home.
Oh, shit.
But all of this is just kind of, you could chalk it up to just like a crazy, set of incidences that happened. And now that we understand what happened and have the hindsight, we can just be like, damn, that was fucked up. Thankfully, no one died, and we can just put this behind us.
Yeah,
but instead, the prosecutor here, like, they tried getting an indictment 3 times. The first 2 times, like, the grand jury was like, no, like, this guy,
savage, evil.
Yes, this guy like did nothing wrong, nothing besides like an unlawful discharge of a firearm. Like, that's the one charge that you could argue, like, all right, you shouldn't have shot a gun into the air.
Yeah.
Even though you're defending your but they're like, no, aggravated assault of an officer, 20 years, and they're offering him a plea deal of 5 to 10.
It's so crazy that prosecutors, like, they're incentivized as a career. Each step of their like career ladder is like, you can make it and have a career as long as you just aggressively, pad your resume with, look who I put away, look who I put away, look who I put away. And it's like, well, if you dive deep into the minutia of that person, it's a story like this where it's like, oh, That person was a guy who was standing outside of his house and shot a gun to protect himself from his house from being broken into, and you just framed it in such a manner, like the villainous framing. That's so crazy. That's like, and it's just crazy.
And it, I agree. Like, I think that's a very important point here about like the way the systems at play here when it comes to prosecution. I just read this book. I'm going to keep shouting out this book called Propaganda that I absolutely loved. Everyone should read it. But he's like, one point he makes in there that I want to try to keep up is that he says we shouldn't be calling it the justice system. We should call it the punishment bureaucracy, because that is a more accurate explanation of what is like the goals and the systems at work here. Like these prosecutors and these cops, their goal is not to suss out like guilt versus innocence. Their goal, like, and the way they're incentivized is to guilty, lock up, jail. And that is how they are rewarded. That is how they're incentivized. And you see some shit like this here, like an absurd version. And I think the other part of this, of like, why are they not letting up on these charges, is that like, sort of this mentality of, well, if this guy isn't in the wrong, then I guess that means we're in the wrong. The police, and we're not in the wrong, so it must be this guy's in the wrong. So 20 years is what he's facing for just maybe a misguided attempt at defending his home.
That's the type of shit that make you go, I should have just let the nigga break into my house. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Damn it.
But like it said, his trial is coming up, so we will update y'all on, hopefully it goes well, because this is insane. Yeah. But next, we are moving on to, oh my God, this story out of New Orleans, reading here from The Guardian. Trigger warning, big time on this story.
Is it a happy trigger? Or, again, I haven't read it, so I'm assuming he's triggering us.
It's a happy trigger warning, Ashton.
He's assuming whatever he's preparing us to be like.
Yeah. If you have happy PTSD and you don't like hearing happy things because it triggers happiness, then actually you'll be fine for this one. But if you have the more common negative type of PTSD, that's a trigger warning for you. So this headline is: New Orleans child molester questioned on unsolved killings takes the fifth 700 times. Convicted child molester Stanley Burkhart, a former investigator of sex crimes against children,
and always be your own people,
who has been in and out of prison for decades, invoked his constitutional right against self-incrimination more than 700 times while being questioned under oath recently, including when asked whether he committed a series of unsolved murders of youths in his orbit. And the craziest part...
I do like how they said, including when asked whether he committed a series, as if they're like, do you like... I'm not going to answer the other questions, but the series of unsolved murders, you say? I'll gladly talk about that.
To me, the craziest part of all those words that I said is in and out of prison. As we'll see from reading this, the way that police, the justice system they go through, even when they are convicted of the most heinous crimes that we all agree on are the most heinous crimes, still get just baffling special treatment. So Burkhart's decision to remain silent came when faced with questions about the killings during a deposition in a civil lawsuit by an alleged sexual abuse victim of his, a case aimed at him and the New Orleans Police Department, which used to employ him. So remember, this person is already convicted of molesting children. What he's being questioned now is if he also has murdered children. His silence could not be held against him if the context were a criminal proceeding. So remember, we're talking about pleading the fifth here. But in the context of the lawsuit, a jury is allowed to presume that the ex-cop availed himself of his Fifth Amendment right rather than answer honestly because he would have incriminated himself, said civil attorney Christy Schubert, who deposed Burkhart for 4 hours in late April. Quote, Are you afraid to answer these questions because you don't think you're smart enough to answer without incriminating yourself? Schubert asked Burkhart at one point. Fifth, he replied, a curt indication that he was pleading his Fifth Amendment right to that question. Though Burkhart pleaded the Fifth about every 20 seconds during the proceeding, his deposition by Schubert is significant because it was one of the rare times someone has been able to ask questions of him for so long, including about the decades-old murders while he was sworn to tell the truth.
He literally did the Dave Chappelle fucking sketch.
Yes.
I plead the Fifth.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4. Fifth. Are you a pedophile, sir? I plead the Fifth.
Yeah. Which, I mean, and as we remember, that skit was specifically
about
how black. Well, no, it was about how black people and white people go through different justice systems. Mm-hmm. So that was a skit where he was a black guy going through the white person's justice system, just saying, "I plead the Fifth, I plead the Fifth, I plead the Fifth," and he ended up getting off.
He also was R. Kelly, a pedophile.
Sure. But yeah, that was one of Dave Chappelle's greatest skits. I'm glad he quit doing comedy forever after Chappelle's show. So investigators have always stopped short of describing Burkhart as a suspect in the strangulation murders of 3 teenagers with ties to New Orleans.
This dude was on some shit
in the late 1970s, but there have been numerous clear signs that he has been considered of interest to investigations into those slayings.
Bro, this nigga was like the 19. This is the scary shit they would talk about, like in the 70s, when it was like that guy down the street. Don't. If you lose your baseball in his yard, it's gone, bro. Yeah, it's gone. This nigga is like a boogeyman.
Yes,
a literal like metaphysical.
No, I mean, yeah, that's totally it. Like, as we read this article, that again, you know, it's doing its like journalistic integrity thing where it's not like making claims that they're not supposed to make. But yeah, it seems like this guy was like a serial killer of children. Like a child rapist, murder, serial killer for decades, who's just this guy who's been in and out of prison, like da da da. Like, why would this guy ever be out of prison?
This is like some John Wayne Gacy-ass fucking shit.
Yes, a New Orleans police officer who, remember, was a detective in the child sex crimes unit.
Oh, this nigga was truly villainous.
Yes,
this is a real deal.
Yes,
villain.
Allegedly, apparently, because he has not even been like charged with any murder of any child.
That's because he obviously was a demonic force summoned by the police, who they're like, this is our personal demon. We keep him on the, you know, he causes a problem. Like I mean, I'm joking, but listen, I do think they bring the most villainous. Like when I saw that guy they had on a leash, I'm not kidding you.
I know
they
you're
had
not.
A fucking giant white man.
I mean, I don't know. I know that you believe it.
No, I don't believe it.
I want to believe it. And I feel bad. I feel bad for questioning you.
A black guy was holding a big fucking Bane-looking white dude back with a dog leash, and he was just ready to like juggernaut through fucking. I swear to God, I'm not making. This is not some Jungian fear I'm like creating in my mind of like the police. They all look like some fucking. No, there was this dude that I was like, oh my God. They brought him from the cages in like the back.
The Hannibal Lecter mask.
They unleashed his fucking jackals, and they were like, "Let him out! Let him out!"
I gotta. This will be my next goal to research for next episode,
bro. I promise.
We can look up the day. Whenever that was the first day of the George Floyd protests.
I know I got hit on the head after. I swear to.
That doesn't help your case at all.
I know. I swear at that.
Not to gaslight a black man about the police, but yeah, I never heard of the juggernaut leash cop before or since. It's only been.
It was a wild time.
It was. It definitely was.
It was a wild time, and it was like prime kettling. It was like.
I've heard of kettling. I know what that is.
When the cops, it was literally where they were like, okay, there's all this big ass crowd is coming back, so they set up a fucking wall of cops, and one of the cops was a nigga who they were like, we can't let this one go until it gets bad. Like it was like their nuclear option. Anyway, we can move.
But why would they have him on a leash? Why would they be holding him back?
This nigga was upset. He was like,
But why would a leash be part of it with them?
he had like it was like this collar that it was like a thing that was just like holding him back. Cause I don't know how to describe it, Joffer. He was just like,
well, you're saying leash, so
yeah,
we're all thinking a leash.
Yes, it was. It was like a thing that.
I'm sorry, dude. I don't believe that there was a guy with a leash on another cop. I'm so sorry, Ashton. But
I don't need you to believe it. It happened. It happened.
We'll try to look into it. We'll try to verify these claims. And look, I want to believe you. It's just a part of my brain that can't.
Listen, you know what? Some things just live with me, okay?
Yeah.
I'm not making this. I can say a lot of shit for attention. I swear this just.
Anyways, we got to go back to this horrible story. So, excuse me. So, yeah, investigators have always stopped short of describing Burkhart as a suspect in the strangulation murders of 3 teenagers with ties to New Orleans in the late 1970s. But there have been numerous clear signs that he has been considered of interest to investigations into those slayings, along with the 1982 death of a teen whose body was recovered from the Mississippi River. Notably, a retired New Orleans police officer, Frank Weeks, who was deposed months earlier by Schubert in her client's lawsuit, testified that he recalled his own agency had looked at Burkhart as a possible suspect in the 1982 death of teenager Eddie Wells as far back as the mid-1980s. So there's a lot I left out of this article that goes into like all the different examples of teenagers and children. And again, what do we know about this guy? He's a convicted child molester, child rapist. What do we also know? That children that he knew kept showing up dead. What else do we know? They've done several investigations into him, but they never quite moved those investigations forward enough to press any charges. And we also know that this guy kept being released from jail and being allowed back into the world with all of this knowledge that people had about him. So Schubert specifically asked Weeks whether one particular officer had indicated to him, quote, that he suspected Stanley Burkhart of being responsible of the murder of some boys. Weeks, who had previously spoken about Burkhart in the ongoing true crime podcast New Orleans Unsolved, replied, quote, that is correct. In particular, Eddie Wells. So another example of a child who was found dead. Weeks is a voice on New Orleans Unsolved. He additionally testified that years before Burkhart's unmasking, he was approached by an FBI agent who was investigating, quote, sexual abuse of children complaints filed with the Bureau against Burkhart. So the FBI was also investigating this guy.
So everybody was just looking into this dude. Okay.
Yeah, no, it is insane. Burkhart pleaded the fifth when Schubert asked him a series of questions about each of those aspects from Weeks' testimony. The first time Burkhart was sent to prison was in 1987 for mailing sexual abuse imagery depicting juveniles to undercover agents despite a career investigating child abuse cases. He has since been released and re-imprisoned half a dozen times, including on July 15th, 2025, on state charges of alleged parole violations, for which he is being held in custody in lieu of $100,000 bail. Damn. So the first time I went to prison was in the fucking 80s, and since then, for some reason, he's continually being let out into the public, where it seems very obvious he's out here a fucking serial child murderer.
Yeah, that is This is like it. This is like a horror movie.
It is like a horror movie.
Like, oh damn, this is like he reminds me of like not more than a man. Like he represents the fucking It's too archetypical almost. Like this cop that's fucking a pedophile who just is going around raping. I mean,
laughing in his deposition as the woman is saying, "You sure are pleading the fifth a lot."
Confident and like just like I'll just keep your strategy and it working. It just like only going to jail a few times. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It just feels like this nigga feels like a fucking force.
I mean, we talk a lot about the reasons people become police officers. And there's a lot. A lot of people become cops for noble reasons, right? They believe that they want to do positive, and that's a lot of people joining the force. A lot of people join the force because they're like losers. They were bullied and stuff, and they got a chip on their shoulder. But I think this is like the absolute worst version of that, where someone is a psychopath, sociopath, and they're like, you know, one way I think I could get away with doing the things I want to do, I could become a police officer.
I think that's more than 1%.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't want to. I have no. It's all, you know. It's all just. Well, we can just guess, but this definitely seems like that archetype of a cop.
Yeah, it was just like, I can get away with heinous crimes with protection of a badge, and he like seeked out like it's like finding a major in fucking college. He's like, oh, let me get near the kids.
Yeah, child sex crime division.
That's fucking.
It's all right there in front of us, like what this person is. Monster, like you said.
Just a straight up, like, I'm going to join and get next to the most vulnerable kids and then fucking molest and kill and murder and like be a villain, like an actual, and then get away with it.
Yeah.
If he murdered these kids like years ago and it's like now coming up, this nigga was haunting his prime.
Yeah.
But
among the crimes for which Burkhart has served time were molesting his 9-year-old niece.
Exactly. Come on. Look at that. That's like the most. That's like top. Other than like mass violence on a personal scale, on a personal level, that's one of the most heinous things a human could like possibly.
This guy is like, you know, there's
his
people
niece.
like the guy who in our story about, you know, the Phoenix guy who shot a gun in the air, like the guy who was trying to break in to his home was a guy who's been arrested like 30 times, in and out of jail for like petty crime shit. Mm-hmm. This guy has lived that life except doing the most heinous crimes imaginable, yet still somehow in and out of prison. Yeah. So, among the crimes, he has served time while molesting his 9-year-old niece. During one of his myriad arrests, federal agents who searched his home, listen to this, found a 12-year-old boy inside, though he never faced charges related to that child. What the fuck? You just found a 12-year-old boy inside?
Nah, bro, I'm telling you, he was connected. This is my, now I'm on my Stanley Kubrick fucking Illuminati is now involved here, because ain't no fucking way, bro. Ain't no fucking way. This is too crazy. This is one of those crimes.
This is a police officer. This is the 80s and the 90s. This is in the South.
Nah, bro.
But I mean, this is what we see. I mean, I agree with you. I mean, this is, and it's hard to wrap your head around.
This is like fucking politicians are involved. This motherfucker, I don't know. It's too demonic. There's no way you can just be this comfortable molesting kids and then murdering them and then just getting away with it. Like,
found a 12-year-old boy inside, though he never faced charges related to that child.
That's crazy. That's insane.
That's just crazy to write that sentence and not have more to say about it.
Yeah, we don't know either.
Yeah, one time they found a boy in his, like, imagine like your friends telling you, yeah, one time they found this boy in my home. But anyway, so
but also, it's like the federal agents they searched his home.
Yeah.
Federal agents.
That's such a good point. They searched his home, found the worst thing, a child.
And we're like, I guess we're good here.
All right, thanks for letting us in.
What? Notorious serial child molester. They search, find a kid and just go about their day is crazy.
It is. U.S. Justice Department prosecutors eventually resorted to a federal law allowing lifelong involuntary commitments for people whom judges deemed to be sexually dangerous. A judge ruled in 2011 that Burkhart met those conditions and imposed an indefinite commitment, but he was conditionally freed after 4 years of treatment.
That's so fucking. It's only funny because of how ironically stupid it is. It's like, we should get these people off the streets for good 4 years.
Yeah, exactly.
While my kid's in high school. All right.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
His repeated reincarceration center on allegations that he violated his strict parole conditions by, for instance, secretly using cell phones and the internet. He allegedly accessed social media and commented on photos of children with an account whose password was "Boys for Me!" exclamation mark. I mean, what do you even say to that?
He really loved kids, man. Because a password is something you're gonna like. You like, damn, I don't want to forget this. What do I love? Pokemon. This guy is like, boy, I'm not gonna forget this. Boys for kids. I love kids. This is.
I mean, yeah, he's a monster.
It's like,
I feel like that you see that trope in movies, like psychopaths. They're like have like an evil laugh. Like, to me, this is like an evil laugh.
yeah, this is
To put that as your password
heinous.
is doing the maniacal laughter.
They're like cars for kids, boys for me.
A trial in connection with Burkhart's July 2025 parole violation arrest is tentatively set for July 13th. So
My God.
hopefully we get him on parole violations. Good God.
Yeah, get the guy like fucking Al Capone.
Yeah.
Tax evasion, nigga. This is dark. That's like a novel villain.
It's like a horror. It's like Stephen King. Like
yeah,
you said.
I'm like, this shit is like. I feel like I'm like fucking shudder down my back. He's up there with one of the most. It's funny that like we through pop culture, we think you find the most horrible person through like media. You're like, damn, I haven't seen nobody as evil as that. But the real villains just exist in reality.
Yeah.
Like
our podcast at times or frequently is like a true crime podcast. Like we did not want to set out and do a true crime podcast, but it's like it's about cops. These motherfuckers are truly criminals a lot of the time.
I think if we did, we'd have a lot more women followers. Ladies, listen up. Get us up there.
So yeah, I mean, he's got a trial coming up. Hopefully.
That was dark.
Hopefully we could find a way to not let this guy free
nigga.
again.
God intervene. This nigga's a demon. Help. Constantine. Somebody. I don't fucking know. That's crazy. That was dark. That was scary. I'm a little freaked out right now. That was like and then you bring in the 70s, the setting is even scarier. I'm like, damn. Niggas back in the day?
Yeah, New Orleans is kind of a spooky place already.
God, it's a horror story. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we got to move on. Let's go to the next.
Okay, going to
lighthearted. We can have some fun now with our favorite character.
Joffrey loves picking on this nigga.
Try to have some fun.
Joffrey hates this nigga, but also
and Ashton loves him.
I just think he's a goof.
So do I.
But we're gonna go to a tropical vibes. Get your mind out of the fucking hell we just sent you to. Hawaii via AP. Emails show FBI Director Kash Patel's Hawaii trip included VIP snorkel at Pearl Harbor Memorial. How fun. Next,
snorkeling at a memorial.
Next, we're gonna go and
let's take the spiral slide down the World Trade Center.
Free solo, the Holocaust Museum.
There we go. This is why I thought we could maybe have a comedy podcast off of this shit. Not that last story. Good God, but at least this.
This guy's a nut. When Kash Patel visited Hawaii last summer, the FBI took pains to note the director was not on vacation, highlighting his walking tour on the Bureau's Honolulu field office and meetings with local law enforcement. They had to like double that. No! Just be certain. Yeah. Just because he has the Mickey Mouse hat,
exactly.
He is not. Just because he has
swimming trunks on the private jet.
That is FBI branded. What are those little? I forgot what they're called. Fucking.
Just because his shirt says Federal Boob Inspector, it's still FBI. All right, that means it's official work business.
Yeah, no, this is great. He's such a fucking. This is what we used to have, like sitcoms based on characters like this. Yeah. Now they're like just real life.
Yeah.
Just now life's gotten so much more boring. You got to read about this shit in articles instead of like a Comedy Central workplace comedy. But left out of the FBI's news release was an exclusive excursion that Patel took days later when he participated in what government officials describe as a VIP snorkel around the USS Arizona in an outing coordinated by the military. Okay. He got the military. He got the military coordinating this fucking vacation plan.
Yeah. Dudes with fucking military grade assault rifles. Meanwhile, he's got his duck floaties on his two arms.
Kicking in the door of an Airbnb. The B&B is secure, sir. But the swim, revealed in government's emails obtained by the Associated Press, comes to light in criticism of Patel's use of the FBI's plane and his global travel, which have blurred professional responsibilities with leisure activities. Every day, this nigga is getting in trouble for just shit he shouldn't be doing in the office.
The sunken battleship entombs more than 900 sailors and Marines at Pearl Harbor. Bro, it's Pearl Harbor.
Nigga, this ain't Tulum. The vibes are atrocious. Meanwhile, oh my God, the funniest thing, it's just who this guy is. Remember when the guy shot up the correspondence dinner, which, what a sentence to have to say. Just what a time we live in. You forgot about that. You forgot about the guy or attempted to kill the president at the White House correspondent dinner only 3 weeks ago or some shit like that. I know you forgot. I did. But his article, they made sure to go out of their way to be like, Patel was hiding while another man was holding his girlfriend's hand. The girlfriend that he flies around.
Yep. On the private jet.
To go do open mic country, But, so this is a pathetic man. Just
can't stop drinking at the Pearl Harbor memorial with a rubber ducky with all these military officers, like shots, round of shots.
Won't come out of a plane unless he has like FBI branded like fucking merch. But I'll continue. With few exceptions, snorkeling and diving are off limits around the USS Arizona. Wow, he's breaking all the rules. The battleship, now a military cemetery reachable only by boat, has stood as one of the nation's most hallowed sites since Japan bombed its sacred. In 19. This is such a not the place to be having fun.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just thought that'd be the perfect time.
Please take off your SpongeBob and Patrick swimming trunks.
Yeah.
This is hollowed ground.
Japanese kamikaze pilots had the funniest thing to do. Could have done the funniest thing in that moment. But marine archaeologists and crews from the National Park Service make occasional dives at the memorial to survey the conditions of the wreck. Yeah, still a dead body there. Yep. Other dives have been conducted to enter the remains of Arizona survivors who wanted to rest eternally with their former shipmates. Still, since at the least the Obama administration, the Navy and the Park Service have quietly allowed a handful of dignitaries, including military and government officials responsible for management of the memorial, to swim at the site. Okay, so if you're in the club, you can swim. So that's really what he's just not in the club. They're like, hit this nigga swimming in the cool people pool. They wouldn't have made an article about it. And
he's doing it on our dime.
Yeah, that's all.
This is not his supposed vacation time.
You
He's supposed
cannot
to
have
be at
fun
work.
on taxpayer dollars, bro. We are the worst employees to have. I mean, we're the worst people to be employed by. We get pissed by every. If you leaning, you got time to.
you got time to lean. You got time to clean.
You got time to snorkel. You got time. I don't know.
You got time to swim. You got time to
find JFK's. I don't know. Find MLK. Find Epstein niggas.
It's like, if we have to choose between Kash Patel and J. Edgar Hoover, an actually celebrated FBI director, I would take Kash Patel. I would take Kash Patel over someone who is furiously doing his job of white supremacy and the executing the will of the system
and secretly dressing in women's clothing at night.
Yeah, I mean that's fine.
Yeah, that's his one. That's the one thing that's okay about
That's
him.
the humanizing part of J. Edgar Hoover.
But the snorkeling session happened one day after Patel stopped in Wellington to open the FBI's first standalone office. This nigga was there for a ribbon ceremony. This is an all-around vacation for this nigga. The visit sparked controversy after the AP revealed that Patel had gifted the country's police and spy bosses inoperable 3D printed replica pistols. He gave him janky pistols. That's crazy. Why is he moving like he's wanted by the FBI? Why are you 3D printing pistols, my guy?
Yeah, because he was like, all right. So I can't give out my branded whiskey bottles for gifts? Fine.
Here's a gun.
Underground 3D printed black market guns. That's fine, right? Oh, you're going to get mad at me for my underground and 3D printed black market guns? Oh my God, I can't do shit.
All right, what if I give you guys the nuclear codes? That's crazy. This is
Wait, I can't give my girlfriend the nuclear codes either?
yeah. Hey man, low key though. Kash Patel a good gift giver. I mean, other than like the gun not working, it's kind of cool.
A bottle of whiskey and a gun? Yeah, I mean.
What are you telling me to do? Here you go. Okay.
Here's step one. You figure out the rest. All right,
What
I
message
will.
are you sending me? What the fuck, Kash? That's crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's the fucking pod.
That's the pod,
guys.
folks.
Speaking
Thanks
of
for
angry,
listening.
horny, and brown. Oh wait, we cut that part.
Yeah. Sorry,
Well,
guys.
You guys won't even get that.
Yeah. Join us on the Patreon.